Welcome to Gearhaven. This is a gentle fantasy story from the world of the Detective Glint, where mysteries are solved with kindness instead of fear. Find a comfortable place to rest and let the lantern light guide you. The Lantern Keeper's Secret. The lanterns along the eastern road of Gearhaven never went dark. Through fog, rain, and long winter nights, they glowed steadily, guiding travelers safely toward the city gates. Merchants relied on them. Late workers trusted them. Even those who did not notice them felt uneasy once they were absent. So when one lantern flickered, just once, people noticed. Not because the road grew dangerous, but because something felt wrong. Detective Glint arrived as dusk settled in, the sky dimming to a soft blue-gray. He paused at the beginning of the road and looked down the long stretch of lanterns, each one glowing warm and patient. They were too bright, not blinding, but strained, as if each flame were holding itself carefully in place. The lantern keeper stood near the first post, wrapped in layers of scarves, despite the mild evening. Their hands were clenched tightly together, knuckles pale. "I don't know what happened," they said when Glint approached. "They're not supposed to flicker. I make sure of it." Glint did not answer immediately. He watched the lanterns instead. He walked slowly along the road, lantern light from his own hand blending with the steady glow of the posts. Brass casings hummed faintly. Glass panes were warm to the touch. Too warm. Each lantern burned as if afraid to rest. "You've been keeping them steady," Glint said gently, returning to the keeper. "But you've been doing it alone." The keeper swallowed. "If I don't," they said quietly, "the road won't feel safe." Glint nodded. He had heard this before, in different forms. Places learned habits from people, and people learned fears from places. That night, Glint stayed. Not to repair, not to adjust, to listen. As the evening deepened, the road emptied. Wind moved softly through the posts. The lanterns whispered to one another, not with words, but with tension, with held breath. They'd learned to burn brighter when the keeper grew tired, to compensate, to protect. "They don't trust themselves," Glint said quietly. The keeper looked down. "I taught them not to fail." Glint knelt beside one lantern and loosened a small internal regulator, just enough to let the flame dip between breaths. The light dimmed slightly. The keeper gasped, but the lantern did not go out. "See?" Glint said calmly. "It can rest." They worked together, lantern by lantern, easing the strain, not extinguishing, not weakening, simply allowing space between moments. As the tension lifted, the road felt different. Still bright, but no longer rigid. Exhaustion finally caught up with the keeper. They sat, then slowly leaned back against the wall of the small maintenance shed. "I didn't realize how long it had been," they murmured. Their eyes closed. The lanterns remained lit. All of them. Near midnight, Glint returned alone to walk the road again. The keeper slept peacefully, scarves folded neatly beside them. The lanterns glowed evenly now, warm and steady without effort. The air felt calm, balanced. A traveler passed by, slowing beneath one of the lanterns. "Feels different tonight," they said softly. "Warmer. Easier." They continued on without waiting for an answer. Glint paused beside the farthest lantern and set his own light down briefly. "You don't have to hold everything," he said quietly. "You can share it." The flame responded with a gentle pulse. The next evening, Glint returned once more. The keeper stood straighter now, hands relaxed. "I slept," they said, surprised, "and the light stayed on." Glint smiled. Back in his office, Glint opened his casebook and wrote slowly, Light lasts longer when it isn't carried alone. He closed the book and dimmed the lantern. Outside, the eastern road glowed softly, no longer strained, guiding the city forward. One calm evening at a time. Thank you for spending this time in Gearhaven. If you enjoyed this gentle mystery, you'll find more stories waiting in the playlist. Until next time, keep your lantern close and rest well.